The Emperor's Lance. In Fujian Province, near Yongchun and Dehua, there is a deep valley whose bottom is full of large, sharp rocks. Locals call it Maxiao. Centuries ago in Fujian reigned an emperor who ruled justly. However, during his reign, it turned out that there were also rebellions or rioting movements, one of which was even very dangerous. Because of the sudden attack from the rebel troops, the emperor rushed away to protect himself. Behind him, the rebel army trailed. How anxious the emperor's heart was! He spurred his horse very fast. Gone were the feelings of tiredness, hunger, and thirst, swallowed by worry about his own safety. He continued to gallop his horse as fast as possible until he finally reached the valley, Maxiao Valley. He stopped. Large and sharp rocks were in front of him.
There is no way I can cross the valley on horseback. If I get off and lead my horse, I can survive. If I stay here, they will catch me straight away.
So the emperor got off his horse and led his horse over sharp rocks. The enemy cavalry only reached the edge of the valley when the emperor had reached the other side, mounted his horse again, and continued his flight through the dense forest. Even though it was quite safe, the emperor still rode his horse as fast as lightning, because now he had another enemy, namely the darkness of night, which would soon come. The emperor hoped that when the night was completely dark, he would be in a safe place. Dense forests are certainly not a safe place. He didn't want to be attacked by wild animals in the dark. Finally, when the night was dark, he managed to get out of the dense forest. There he saw a lantern burning brightly. What a relief it feels! It was a resident's house. He could rest there. So the emperor approached the hut. The hut was very simple, made from woven grass, but arranged very thickly so that it can ward off the cold. The owner was a poor farmer. To be precise, an old man. He lived there alone.
Excuse me, can I stay at your cottage tonight? Wait until morning comes. I'm late on the road.
Yes, of course. Please, come in and rest. I will look after your horse, said the owner of the cottage kindly. This old man lived in the extreme poverty. Why not? The emperor did not see any furniture in the hut except simple cooking utensils and piles of grass for sleeping. The floor of the hut was only covered with a thin and ugly mat. The emperor also compared his life with the life of these poor farmers. In the palace, he lived in a luxury and wealth, but still always felt lacking, while this old man lived amidst all limitations. But the emperor did not see him sad. When he saw the wrinkled face with the help of an oil lamp, he actually found joy. The old man who owned the house prepared dinner for his special guest that night. I did not have enough rice, Sir, but I would be happy to share it with you, said the old farmer.
Thank you.
Said the emperor. I'm making porridge. Coincidentally, I still have a supply of fish. Later, the fish will certainly be a suitable side dish, said the old farmer.
Yes, good. Whatever I want, the important thing is to eat.
Said the emperor firmly. After waiting for a while, the porridge was finally cooked. The old man served it with a side dish of salted fish. For the emperor, he put porridge in a bowl while he put a fish in a small plate. The old man also used the same equipment and menu. So the emperor began to eat. He didn't expect it at all. The rice porridge turned out to be really delicious, and the fish was the most delicious and savory fish he had ever eaten. Usually at the palace, he dined with a selected menu, served by top chefs from all over the country. Not just any fish or meat can be served. There's even a special team for testing food right to make sure whether a food was truly delicious before it was served to the emperor. The emperor thought that the food he had eaten so far was the most delicious food in the world, but apparently not. This time, in his poor heart, he actually found a meal that was incomparably delicious. His meal surpassing all the best meals in the palace. Not long after, the rice porridge in the bowl was empty.
What is the name of your menu?
Asked the emperor in admiration.
Both the porridge and the side dish are delicious.
Ah, is that true, sir? The old man felt very flattered. I'm just a poor farmer, don't know anything about the art of cooking.
But really, I am not lying.
The emperor confirmed.
What is the name of the menu?
The old man began to think of the name that would be bold and lively enough to call his cooking menu. This rice porridge is called pearl porridge, and the fish is called beautiful as salmon.
Pearl porridge and sweet eye salmon? What a great name. Very fitting. I will remember it well.
The emperor repeated in his heart the name of the menu. In fact, he kept saying it until he fell asleep because he was so full. The next day, early in the morning, he left the hut and, after saying goodbye, immediately galloped his horse back to the palace. Along the way, he plans to give orders the chef to cook these two delicious menus. That morning, he saw no more signs of the rebels. Maybe they are moving to another area. Throughout the journey, he did not encounter any disturbances. Finally, the emperor returned to the palace safely. All the bodyguards, ladies in waiting, and concubines greeted his arrival happily. A welcoming meal was served. Please that is it, sir, said the chef.
What is this?
Asked the emperor in a somewhat dismissive manner. The most delicious cuisine across land, sea, and air. Please. The emperor sat down and began to taste, but after two or three spoonfuls, he had no appetite anymore.
Ah, not good.
All the guards, ladies in waiting, and the empress were surprised. The emperor no longer wanted to touch the food until it became cold. Then what menu would your majesty want? Asked the chef.
I want to make pearl porridge with a side dish of beautiful ice salmon. Please prepare it for me.
None of the chefs have ever heard of the name of the dish.
Don't you know? The pearl porridge is placed in a bowl, while the beautiful ice salmon is placed in a plate. The porridge is served while it's still warm. The porridge is very tasty, just as delicious as the fish, the salmon. You can make it right. I don't want to eat any other menu. There is
That's what the emperor said firmly. The chefs in the palace kitchen were confused to death. If the emperor got a stomach ache because he doesn't want to eat another menu, that's bad, said one of the chefs. Yeah, we all take the blame, exclaimed another. But after all, they are experienced chefs. One of the chefs imagined that the emperor would be suited in shark fin meat, and the meat was lumped together to resemble pearls. Another chef slaughters a pigeon, take out the eyes, then combine it with salmon flesh to make beautiful ice salmon. Food is also served. With pounding heart, they awaited the emperor's reactions. After just one bite, the emperor was fed up. He threw up the food again.
Thi- This is not what I mean. Come on. Try making it again.
The chef returned to the kitchen and prepared new dishes. However, it turned out that he didn't like the new dish either.
Just like this. Call the old man who lived in a thatched hut on the edge of the forest near the Mathieu Valley. You will find him easily because there is no other huts there es- escape the old man's. Only he can cook these dishes.
After a long journey, the guard managed to find the hut in question, then brought the old man to the palace. Go into the kitchen with the chef, prepare porridge and beautiful ice salmon like yesterday when I come to visit.
Everything you need is in the palace kitchen. Just ask the chef to prepare it. Do you understand?
Yes, my lord. That's it. The old man began to busy himself in the palace kitchen to prepare the emperor's dream menu. Not long after, the menu of pearl porridge and the beautiful ice salmon was ready to be served, steamy, warm, inviting appetite. The emperor's eyes lit up when he saw the pair of the plates and bowls. He started to lift his spoon,
Oh, why is this?
shouted the emperor. His face changed instantly, showing distaste and disgust.
The porridge is too liquid and salty. The salmon is actually a bit bitter.
But sire, I made the dish using exactly the same method and spice measurement as yesterday.
Is that true?
The emperor was shocked.
Ah, I cannot believe it. You must have changed it.
There hasn't any change, not the slightest. I told you this is exactly the same as yesterday. The difference is that yesterday, His Majesty was very hungry and exhausted after avoiding enemy threats. So, food like this also tastes delicious to Your Majesty's tongue. In a situation like that, when someone has just recovered from panic and fatigue after being threatened with their body and soul, I guess whatever dish I serve, it will certainly taste delicious to him.
Is that so? I can understand. I understand now. Ha 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 ha.
And the emperor burst out laughing.